Hi everyone, how are you doing today? Hi, welcome to Debbie Vine. Today is a fantastic day because I'm telling you my story of how I passed my driving test. Some people are like, story? Isn't it just a pass? It's not for everyone. Not everyone passes that easily. So I'm going to be telling you my story and I'm going to be putting in a few tips since I've done it. I can advise other people about it. Now, this happened such a long time ago, honestly. It's nearly extinct, to be honest. But the truth is, I've come across some people who've had challenges with passing their driving test, and I always tell them my story, and they're always inspired. So I thought, why not come over to YouTube and tell my story? What do you think? What do you think? Okay, let's go. So, my story. I had just finished university. Hope my age is not showing. I had just finished university and I had gotten a job like a few months after I'd graduated, not long at all. And the job required me to learn how to drive. Now, the truth of the matter is, the kind of person I am, I wouldn't have learned. I would have left it till I really, really needed it. But because it was a requirement of my job, I had to go learn. So they allowed me to start work and they encouraged me to, get the test done as soon as possible. So here I was, freshly out of university, new job, got my first paycheck and thought, let me start this driving palaver. And it was quite good though. I had oh my goodness, it was amazing. The thing is, I didn't really think I needed to drive because my house was walking distance from my office, and my house and office was walking distance from my church. So really and truly, I would just be home, go to work, go to church, go home, go to work, go to church, go home. It was just like that triangle that used to go around. But I had been told I had to pass this test. So first thing I did was I went to buy the book. In those days, it was the book and the multiple choice questions, and I started practicing. And I did the test and I passed it first time. So the theory, I passed it first time. Everyone listen, I passed it first time. You need to hear this. So after passing the theory, I got a driving instructor from word of mouth of somebody who had passed through him. Point one. Always try and get somebody that has a kind of good reference that they're good at what they say they do. And I remember paying for the lessons as I went along. I remember my first day, it was terrible. I just didn't understand. How on earth do you expect me to have my foot on the clutch and then the brake and then the gear and then also be looking in the mirror? I mean, how do you want me to do this? And it was such a challenge. And the guy I had, he would just be like, come on, you can do it. And I'm like, it's hard. I don't know what I'm doing. And I remember there was a time I nearly hit the car. Nearly hit somebody else's car. The guy just said, get out of my car, get out of my car. We exchanged seats. And he's like, we might go somewhere, safer rather than on the main road. You're not ready yet for the main road. So I remember going through that. And the thing that I did, which I want to encourage you guys not to do, is to spread it over a long time. When you're learning something, I believe that you should have it in bulk sessions. So if you're going to go for a driving test, make sure you've got enough money for like maybe 10 or 20 or, something like that. And then have it consistently, week in, week out, maybe twice a week or once a week, but be consistent. I'd rather say twice a week, to be honest. Be consistent about it. The truth of the matter is, now that I'm an experienced driver of over 20 years, Oh yeah. I can really tell you that it gets easier. It really does get easier. That brake, clutch and thing, it gets so easy. That looking around for cars, it's so much easier. It becomes a part of you, like the way you walk, the way you do standard things without thinking, it becomes easier. So, I believe in practice. Okay? Practice, 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 and get help. If you can, your parents or a friend can allow you to drive the car in between lessons. That will help you. That will help you get used to the car. I failed my test 3 times. 3 times. In case you didn't see my fingers, 3 times. It was traumatic. It was traumatic. But I didn't pass it until I was really consistent with my practices. I got other people to help me. I got into other people's cars, trying to get used to the car. And, I was just so desperate to pass that on the third time I was literally going to my pastor, I need to pass this test, oh God, and I passed it. But the thing is, my first test, when I went for it, well, let's say second, I can't remember the first one was just anyway, one of the tests that I did, I remember talking to the instructor because I was nervous, and I was talking to the instructor, and I got one main failure. I believe is a major failure on one thing, and that just knocked me for 6. So that really made me think the next time I was going to do this test, I'm not going to speak. So when I went for my last final test, which obviously I didn't know was my last final test, I remember the guy trying to talk to me and me just giving him a yeah, no. I'm focusing so much on the road and doing what I needed to do. It got so funny that he was trying to talk to me because he asked me where I worked, and he says, oh, he knows somebody, but I did not want to have that chit chat with this guy. I just wanted to pass the test. Anyway, I got through the test, and at the end, I just breathed this breath of, relief that, okay, I've done this. I don't think I've done anything major wrong. Let's hope I've passed. And I just turned to the guy and I just asked, I just looked at him and he looked at me and he just says, congratulations, you passed. I hugged him. A complete stranger. I hugged him. I answered all his questions about my workplace. I was so excited, So what I want to say to you is there is a journey that you have to go through with passing a test. And sometimes it can be daunting. But I want to tell you that at the end of the road, you will pass. You will pass. You will pass unless you're like my mom, who didn't pass. Who managed to get her car in a ditch. Let's not go there. But let me tell you something. Some people are not... Actually, some people are not supposed to drive, not supposed to be allowed on the road. But let me tell you, once you are determined and you're focused, you can do it. What did I say? I said you can do it. So I want you to be there. I want you to be there passing that test. And one other thing that I want to tell you, when I passed my test, obviously the whole church knew Debbie passed her test, because when I failed the first time and the second time, they saw the look on my face like, oh, Debbie, aren't you praying enough? I'm like, please, this is just too hard. But I remember when I passed my test, somebody just came up to me. I'll never forget her. Hannah, I love you. Mwah. And she gave me her old car, a Vauxhall Cavalier. She gave it to me. I was so excited. Honestly, I was so excited by that car. And that encouraged me to get used to driving a bit more, and that allowed me to spend months, driving a car that if I hit or bashed, it wouldn't hurt so much because it was gifted to me, and it was quite old. But then it gave me the opportunity to buy a new car. So I was thinking, oh, for those who know, Nissan Micra, really tiny little 2-door car, thinking this is what I want to buy. But my mum had other ideas. You can't be selfish. You go to church, you go home, you go to work. Are you not going to carry people inside your car? You want 2-door car. 2-door car is a selfish car. You have to buy 4-door. Anyway, I had her on my case for weeks, and she came with me to buy the car. I ended up with a Vauxhall Corsa, beautiful silver Vauxhall Corsa. I loved it. I paid good money for it. I paid it off eventually. I sold it on, bought other cars since then. But what I want to encourage you is I hope you learn something from my story. And just remember, practice, practice, practice. Do stuff in bulk. Get someone to help you with driving. If you can't, just do as many tests as you can. And on the day, just calm all the way down and you will be fine. And when you pass, I want you to put something down on the comments to say you've passed. God bless you. You're going to do great. Take care. Bye.